Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Kings of the North. We are going to be hopping into our next match. It is going to be the one and only NoRegreT facing off versus HuK.
Should be a good match, a PvZ between two very aggressive players. One a little bit more aggressive than the other.
Yes, a little bit more.
Yeah.
In his own way.
Yep. But the other one, still HuK, quite an aggressive player in and of himself. First map is going to be on Leralac Crest. Probably a good map for NoRegreT.
You know, I could definitely see that. And I've got to say, these two guys are very good friends with each other and everything. Often talk, often hang out. And I'm ready to waiting to see what exactly, not just what NoRegreT throws at HuK, but also how does HuK respond?
Good question.
But we're going to be starting down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map on top of the orange Protoss player from Evil Geniuses. Give it up for HuK.
And spawning cross positions of Leralac Crest, the red Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming, it's NoRegreT. Wiggle in there with this little tornado.
Little wiggle.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Shout out to Ender. Ender's Sword, our fantastic observer. Yeah, I see you, Ender. I'm eyeing you.
With your Boston Bruins cap.
Yeah.
You're looking handsome. As always.
I tried to make him smile. I couldn't.
He shrugged.
He's shrugging, yeah.
Oh, he did the select thing.
All right, so talking a bit about, again, what I was saying, like, you know, HuK, I'm really interested in seeing what he's going to do. Because HuK is not one of those people that will just take some sort of aggression or cheese, just, you know, lying down. He'll actually be a little bit funny about it. He will say, like, you know what, I'm gonna cheese NoRegreT instead. He's that kind of player.
He really is, actually. You're right. And we do see NoRegreT going for that hatch gas pool. He's favored this in, I feel, all of his ZVPs. Allows him to get that quick Zergling speed, maybe go for a drop, maybe go for a Baneling bust. Just at the very least, it keeps that in his opponent's head.
Yeah, options are open.
Yeah, HuK, on the other hand, is going for that Gate Nexus Cybercore that we're seeing so commonly. Actually, no, looks like he went for Cybercore first. Gate Cybercore followed by a Nexus. A little bit safer.
I definitely like that, especially on a map like Leralac Crest, which is, as we've seen in the past, very, very wide open natural expansion, can be very susceptible to all of the kinds of all-ins that a Zerg player like NoRegreT would love to do.
Yes, absolutely, and we do see HuK scouting out NoRegreT, recognizes what's going down. Going to be throwing down a very fast Twilight Council.
Yeah, we have 12 Zerglings coming out right now for NoRegreT. This is already an abnormally large number of Zerglings. I feel like we may be seeing some real big aggression coming out from NoRegreT right off the bat.
Yeah, he really likes to cut workers at, previously it was 20 workers, now it's actually down to 19.
I was like, I think I'm making too many drones.
Yeah, it's a problem, but if we look at Leralac Crest, the natural, it's just so big, so difficult to wall off, and we can see HuK, because of that first pylon placement, kind of...
Oh, you know, this is a really interesting situation, because a lot of Pros players on this map like to just try and create a wall in from the ramp over their Nexus, but HuK actually going for the pylon a little bit closer to the ramp, and that does mean the mineral line itself is going to be very exposed. If those Zerglings just make it past the pylons, suddenly there's actually no pylons covering the probes.
Yeah, that was really clever from NoRegreT right there. He snuck around the watchtower with those first Zerglings. That is actually so huge. HuK does not have a wall in.
Only now starting also. This is actually a doom and disaster right now. Adept is also going to take some serious damage. It may just barely survive. No, it doesn't even manage to survive. Mothercore is going to be popping out, but only one Fortune Overcharge is going to be available.
And that pylon is actually powering Warp Gate, the Gateway, and the Twilight Council. Big damage coming down on the probes already. NoRegreT ramping up the aggression, keeping it up. He was going to probably want to go for that pylon. Does target it down. Warp Gate completes, but it might depower this Gateway.
And that is the only Gateway currently finished right now, is now the probes are going to be taken out. The Mothercore is out, but how in the world do you recover from this?
That's it. I don't think he can. He's going to be losing all of these probes, using that pylon overcharge. And we see the GG. And NoRegreT takes an incredibly quick game one.
NoRegretting his way to victory.
Absolutely. Leralac Crest, a map where that is very, very strong.
Absolutely.
I wanna point out, that was really clever from NoRegreT. He got those two Zerglings and put them at the watchtower and could spot where the Adept was coming from, the scouted Adept. and he actually sent the other Zerglings around the watchtower, and that
Yeah.
ended up catching HuK completely off guard. Meant he couldn't pull a probe to build a reactive wall.
Right.
Couldn't get anything to prevent the damage, and those early lings speed finished. He was able to surround the Adept, and HuK just had no way of recovering from that point.
Yeah, imagine if he had had the time to start up his Mothership Core maybe a few, like, 10, 15 seconds earlier, and suddenly the Mothership Core actually has a footprint overcharge in time for that first round of Zerglings, and then he holds on, maybe keeps the Adept alive because it's pulled back a little bit sooner. All these things could have gone very, very differently if HuK had some sort of even just small advance warning. But really, as you were saying, great play out of NoRegreT, keeping that in the dark for such a long time.
Absolutely, and really taking advantage of the map, understanding the timing of that Adept, keeping those 2 Zerglings, making it just look like scouting Zerglings, keeping those on the watchtower, watching for where the Adept is going to go, and then basing his movement of his other Zerglings on that, and that ended up ultimately winning him the game. And I can tell you, Protoss players, I'm going to be doing that to you on the ladder.
Oh boy, everyone's going to be picking up those NoRegreT builds, man.
Absolutely.
They are pretty strong. That is actually the scary thing about NoRegreT, is he can take games off of just anyone because he does all these small little things, and he does these kind of all-ins and these cheeses so often. He very much owns it. He says he's, very good at them, and it's like his playstyle, but he has so much experience that he knows these small little tricks.
Yeah, and he'll do these builds, and then he'll just tell his opponents, like, this is what's happening. Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
Try and stop it.
What are you
and
gonna
a lot
do?
of the time they can't.
Yeah. But, of course, if there is